I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. Alright? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit.
Here we go again, guys. Here we go. It's another day to bring to the front everyone who participated in or saw what was happening at the industry events and said nothing. Allison Carter, a survivor, described these parties as not merely intimate gatherings, but as involving satanic rituals. Then she went on to mention a couple of celebs in her Affidavit of Truth, and one of them was Denzel Washington. And you know what? There's no escaping for Denzel, because there's a bunch of videos online where Allie says the same thing. Baby, I know a lot of y'all will say that Saint Denzel would never do something like that. So how about we just get right into this, and you'll be the judge of that. Allie Carter has been pretty vocal talking about what she saw as a victim of child trafficking. Initially, people did not believe a single thing she was saying, just because of how wild it was. But now, with everything that has come out, oh baby, most of the things she has said turned out to be true. In recent interviews and statements, Allie Carter has once again been accusing celebs of being involved in exploitative activities, claiming that these incidents took place during elite parties involving powerful figures from the entertainment industry. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering theirs. I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic rituals.
There's also an affidavit that has been making rounds online where Allie describes an after-party, and she says that some of the celebrities present were Birdman, Denzel Hayes Washington, Diddy, and Young Jeezy. Allegedly at this party there were body cakes, which means that the people not of age would lie on a table and people would put food on them, and the partygoers would eat off their unclothed bodies. And there were a lot of celebrities at this party. Then once everyone was searched and inside, the DJ sounded the music and the lights flashed, signaling that everyone was in and the doors were closed, and this signaled that the ritual could begin. Allie also said that the young victims who had been brought to the party were treated as party favors. Based on what she wrote in her Affidavit of Truth, favors mean that she was literally placed on a table and had to wait for people to make their selections. And once the encounter was over, they were placed back on the table, and someone else could then come and choose again, repeating the process. She then goes on to say, "I was forced through so many situations that night. I cannot remember them all. And some of the others hold those memories." Partygoers went into a frenzy mindset once the DJ started the music and turned on the flashing lights. There were disturbing activities happening everywhere, and they kind of separated them into areas where specific activities were happening. For instance, one area involved rituals with red liquid, while another involved different disturbing acts. People were just in a crazed frenzy.
When the music started, I was sitting on the party favor table. The main room was big, like a ballroom. There were outlying doors around the edges of the room. Some of the doors were shut, but you could still see the food table, the party favor table, and many other things. There were different types of parties happening in different areas of the house. Honey, when I tell you that Allie had one of the worst experiences, I mean exactly that. She was talking about how one of the top comedians who was at the party was complaining that he did an hour-long set, but there was no one to hook up with backstage. According to Allie, this comedian broke the no backdoor rule and had his way with her anyway and just laughed. Then she screamed for her handler, and everyone was laughing, and she ended up getting in trouble. She also said they brought in donkeys and burros, and they did you-know-what with them. There's still a lot Allie went into, but it's just too much, so y'all better do your own research. Honestly, everything that Allie was talking about seems so unreal. And it's even worse when I imagine that there were people there, including celebrities, including allegedly Denzel Washington. Maybe. I don't know for sure if Denzel was actually present during that particular party. But one thing I can tell you is that Denzel has been to Diddy's parties. For starters, there have been reports saying that one time during a Diddy party, Denzel screamed at Diddy, saying, "You don't respect anyone," before leaving the party he had attended with his wife in 2003. Apparently, he and Pauletta had been partying until dawn, and they had seen something and stormed out. Well, the incident that night didn't appear to affect their friendship, as Diddy and Denzel had been seen together through the years at various public events. I also know that Denzel was at the parties because Brandon T. Jackson said that Denzel advised him to always leave Hollywood parties before the devil gets there. He said on the Breaking the Machine podcast, "Denzel always told me, when we be at the parties, you leave 30 minutes before the devil get there." Okay. Always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early. So what exactly did Denzel witness at the parties that he had to tell Brandon to always leave 30 minutes before the devil got there? Was it the things that Allie was talking about? The one she claims Denzel allegedly witnessed?
Well, there are people who have said that there are things that Allie Carter has said that seem very much like they could be true. But on the other hand, she has also said some extremely off-the-wall crazy stuff that does not add up. So it kind of leads them to believe maybe she's delusional and suffering from a mental condition, especially when it comes to Denzel. Some people are just having a hard time believing that he could be such a monster. However, we also have people saying that Denzel is not the saint he has been painted to be. First of all, when it comes to Denzel, there have been cheating rumors going all the way back to the 90s, but they really blew up in 2003 when there were reports that Denzel had an affair with his out-of-time co-star, Sanaa Lathan. The tea back then was that Sanaa's phone butt-dialed somebody while she was in the back of a limo about to get it on with Denzel, and she didn't even know her phone called the person and left a voicemail about 3 minutes long. It was also rumored that she even got pregnant by Denzel, but got rid of the pregnancy. Allegedly, Denzel was also telling Sanaa that he was going to leave Pauletta, and they were going to be the new power couple.
There was also an incident involving Ava Mendez, and allegedly, after she knew about what was going on with Sanaya, Ava broke things off. Then there was someone who spilled that he saw Denzel a few times at Firefly in Studio City. Apparently, he had a house close to the restaurant up in the hills. And the 3 times the person saw Denzel, he was sitting way in the back in the outside seating area, and each time he had about 3 young white ladies hanging off of him. Based on what that person spilled, the girls were just staring at him in awe like he was a king or something. As a matter of fact, there have been a bunch of other cheating scandals that mostly involved younger women. But for those who recall, the most scandalous incident was in 2013 when another cheating scandal broke the internet. Based on reports and photos that were apparently being shopped for sale, Denzel was sitting on a couch with a young lady. And then throughout the series of pictures, he grabbed her arm and pulled her in for a kiss on the lips and won. The cheating scandal allegedly made Pauletta move to New York, while Denzel stayed in Los Angeles. But somehow, Denzel still managed to talk himself out of that scandalous situation. Well, based on these tendencies, there are people who have said they see how Denzel may have been part and parcel of Diddy's parties. And while after some time he probably decided to start leaving early, he knew exactly what was going on. However, what I'm personally struggling with is the allegation from Allie that he was present when kids were being laid on tables and subjected to the most disgusting stuff. Like, Denzel really sat through that and did nothing about it? And he continues to say nothing about it? This entire whistleblowing is just messed up. But you let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below.